Hi, I'm Charman and welcome to my series of Bridal Bites. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to cook lime and garlic prawns with a homemade chili jam. They're the perfect canapé for your big day. Add some oil to a hot saucepan. Fry the onions for a couple of minutes until nice and soft. Once the onions are soft, add the ginger, chilli and tomatoes and stir until starting to warm through. Sprinkle in the sugar and allow to dissolve. Once the sugar's dissolved, add the rice wine vinegar and bring to the boil. Bubble for 30 minutes until thick and jammy. Then add a couple of tablespoons of fish sauce. Remove from the heat and allow to cool slightly before carefully popping it into a blender and blitzing until smooth. Leave to cool, or alternatively pop it into sterilised jars and keep it for a few months. Prawns are a great canapé at any party and especially at your wedding. They're so quick to cook, you're not going to be slaving over a stove for hours, and this recipe is even better because you can cook it the day before and serve them cold. Now what I'm going to do is I've got a pan nice and hot. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, groundnut oil, whichever, it doesn't really matter. Just a little dash in there, and then I'm just going to put my garlic slices, which is literally 4 cloves of garlic. Now it sounds a lot, and I know weddings are all about romance and kissing. Don't worry, you're not actually going to eat the garlic. It just forms part of the marinade. So I'm just going to fry it literally for 30 seconds. Don't leave it too long as it will start to burn and go really bitter. And once that starts frying away, don't worry about taking on any colour, you can just start to smell it. I'm going to start adding my prawns. Now you want to cook these nice and quick. Now if you're doing a lot for a big number of people, depending on how big your wedding is or how greedy they are, you might want to do this in batches. So I'm just going to add a few of these to the pan. And you just want to leave them and they will start to turn pink. If you can get them in one layer in the pan, it's even better. When you're cooking prawns, try not to fiddle around with them too much. You want them to get a nice little bit of colour on the underside, and if you keep turning them, you'll lose the heat in the pan and then they'll start to stew, and that's when prawns go a little bit rubbery and like chewing a rubber band. So to the prawns, and before I turn them over, I'm just going to add some lime zest. Now, I have a theory about limes. Lime zest is fine for cooking and heating through, but when I add the lime juice, I'm actually going to put it in when I've taken the pan off the heat. There's something about cooked lime juice that goes a little bit acrid in my mind, and it leaves a sort of horrible bitter but not a sour aftertaste. So I'm going to add the zest, and that's fine at this stage. You can start to see that they're turning pink on the edges, so they're nearly ready just to start turning over in the lime zest and garlic. So I'll just leave those for another minute, and then it's time for a bit of lime juice and a little bit of coriander. These are really, really simple, not hundreds of ingredients where you're going to be slaving over a hot stove, getting things in and out of cupboards, forgetting ingredients, sending your dad in his pyjamas down to the corner shop to pick things up. These recipes are really simple, and I've made them that way so that you can cook them in and around your wedding day. Right, so they're now pink all the way through, and the best way to learn how to cook is by feel. I know it's hot, so be careful, but if you feel one of the prawns, they'll feel firm and springy. They won't feel soft, and that's how you know they're cooked. Try not to overcook them. So I'm going to take that off the heat, and then I'm going to add a little bit of lime juice. This again will stop the cooking process because it'll take some of the heat out of the pan. Now where the prawns are caramelised on the bottom, this will make a sort of juice and a syrup, which you can marinate the prawns in overnight, ready to be served cold tomorrow. And then a final little bit of coriander. The best thing to do is pop these in a Tupperware container, leave the lid off, let them cool, then cover them and pop them in the fridge. So when it comes to serving your canapés, your prawns are already cooked and are nice and cooled and done totally, and so's your jam. So all you need to do is plate them up with a load of cocktail sticks ready for your guests. And there you have it. If you like this recipe, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and why not give us a like on Facebook. Join me next week for my next canapé idea for your big day.